What's going on, everybody? I'm your host, the Carolina Collector, and here we are again where I really need to discuss this issue, because if you're a sports card seller on eBay or just a general eBayer, there are all sorts of scams and all sorts of garbage that goes on that unfortunately we have to talk about this particular eBayer, because this is probably one of the more egregious eBayers that I've seen yet. And this will definitely go out to the public so that this way you can avoid people like this. And eBay doesn't seem to really give a damn one way or the other. And we really need to protect the hobby, because, you know, and I've said this throughout my videos, and given my current situation with my ex-girlfriend, there are selfish, arrogant, evil, disgusting narcissists that are out there that they don't care who they hurt, they don't care how much pain they cause, they don't care about those that they hurt. They just do what they want, how they want, with no sense of conscience or empathy. You know, it's one thing to, for example, disagree politically, but that doesn't give you the right to go light people's homes on fire. If you don't like Elon Musk, that doesn't give you the right to scratch up people's Teslas. And this is the world that we're in. Look at my situation. You know, I had a woman that I let into my life for the past year to find out certain things about her recently, where she was essentially using me to become an American citizen, and really did not love me at all. It was more to use me for my name, and then probably divorce me and take half my money and resources. But we'll talk about that in a future video when it comes up. But again, if there's anything, and I've said this before, if there's one truth, and there's actually a very famous quote from one of my shows from Hugh Laurie, who played Dr. House: "It is part of the human condition that everyone lies." You know, so, but the extent of the lie is what I really hate the most about human nature. And we have another instance of someone, which I don't understand the modus operandi. I don't understand why people do this. I don't know if it's to move competition off of the board or get them off the field, so to speak, or if it's to control the population numbers. I really don't know why eBayers do this. I don't know if this is a bot. I don't know if this person is working with someone else, but this is the card in question right here. So you've already seen it. Forgive the reflection of my outside window there. It is, by the way, if you watched one of my shorts, I've actually implemented the little system I have here to circulate air in my apartment without using a ton of electric. So if you can't see directly over my shoulder here, there's one of the two portable fans that I would normally use outside, you know, when my buddies come over, especially when it gets hot. You definitely need those. And I got the overhead fan going and the bug net, and that thing it's paid for itself already. You know, so, but with all that being said, this is the card we're talking about right here. This is a Paul Skeens yellow foil from Topps Update from last year. And as you know, I had a pretty good successful run of selling a bunch of these that I had graded through SGC. And despite myself, as much as I really didn't want to buy a yellow foil, because the one that I had graded from SGC came back at 9.5, I wanted to color match that thing. That was my whole goal. But then I started thinking about it, and I'm like, man, I want a flagship product. Doesn't have to be chrome. I mean, as long as I got a pretty decent Paul Skeens card, I decided that I was going to sell off all of those other Paul Skeens rookies, which I did quite successfully. So congratulations to all the customers that bought those off of me. And I pulled the trigger on a PSA 10 of this card, because I was like, for the price that the seller was offering it for, pretty much those sales paid for that one card, which is great, and some, you know what I mean? But I listed this guy because I really, really wanted to try to get the SGC 10 to color match this with the holder that SGC has. And one of the cards that I'm selling right now, as a matter of fact, this was one of my first graded cards when I first got back into the hobby again. That's a Corbin Carroll Bowman Platinum 1010. And that's up at my eBay store right now. Click the link in the description box below if you guys are interested. But it's the black holder to match with Paul Skeens' uniform, and the yellow of the foil card itself is what convinced me to, you know, possibly get this graded by SGC. But then once I saw the PSA 10 for the price that the seller was offering it for, and I did do a legit check on it, I'm like, I just abandoned that idea. So now I had this raw Paul Skeens here. I figured let somebody else enjoy it and see what happens. But thanks to this jackass right here, we have another one of these morons that bids on cards and doesn't pay for the cards. And I caught this immediately as soon as the auction ended, and have since relisted the card. It's currently up for auction right now at the time of this video, and I blocked this individual and canceled the order outright. And this is just a small sample of all of the negative feedbacks that are in the positive column. So we're going to start getting into this. So if you read through this, here's an example of one. You could pause the video and read this yourself, and there are a lot of these that are just like that. So this went horribly. How could you let somebody bid on my auction without confirming that they will pay after? I should not have to wait more than a day for them to pay, and I messaged the buyer and they did not answer. This should not happen again, as I canceled the order. Very disappointed. eBay, and eBay allows this crap. They really do. eBay allows this BS. It's happened to me a couple times now. But the thing is when you actually list an auction, there's no option in the listing to say that the buyer must pay immediately. And if you try to list it without, or if you actually tick that option as if it was a buy it now, eBay won't allow it. You can only use the immediate payment for buy it nows, which is ridiculous. You should have to pay for your stuff immediately. You know, again, it's not just me selling sports cards. I'm also, you know, a consumer. I buy cards, you know, so if I see something I like, I'm going to pay for it because, well, honesty is the best policy. But of course, in today's goofy world, nobody has ethics, morals, or values anymore, and there's a lot of dishonesty. And again, here we are with this person, you know, basically trying to screw people up. Again, I don't understand. I don't get it. I have no idea what the modus operandi is. So here's another page. You can pause the video and read this yourself. Negative feedback. This eBay account will ghost you and will not respond. Avoid this account. All thumbs downs. Will not pay for purchase. All right, we got another one right here. Never paid for item 1. Complete waste of time. There were just too many of these to merit continuing this transaction. So there's another one. There's actually 2 of them on this page, which of course, again, you can pause and read it yourself. Do yourself a huge favor and block this guy. He ensures he has the highest bids on expensive cards and then doesn't pay. He won't respond to messages. eBay needs to ban this lowlife. Buyer never paid, reached out multiple times about it with no response. And again, I didn't print out the entire set of feedbacks, and this is in the positive column. Go figure. Seller beware, bid over multiple times and did not pay. Several messages, no response, non-payer. So you can see that right there in the top of the page. Once again, you can pause the video and read. Read other feedback, bids, but does not pay. DAP Sports is their business. Block. Worthless. Buyer never paid. No response. Block. So you can see that on this page right here. This is a negative review. Sent buyer 2 payment reminders. Never paid after 4 days. Had to cancel. Order cause he never paid and never responded to the payment reminders. If you not gonna pay for an item, you win in an auction, obviously the English here is completely screwed up, then don't bid on them. Unfortunately, people couldn't give a rat's ass. So there it is. You got this one. There, like I said, there was a lot, and I wasn't gonna waste printer ink, you know, printing these out, but I wanted you guys to see this in real time. So here we go again. Here's 2 back-to-backs from the same eBayer, but for 2 separate listings. So I'll show that to you first. Again, you guys can pause this video and read this yourselves. Not positive. Invoice with combined shipping. So it was probably 2 orders. That's what it looks like here. Combined shipping within an hour of the auction, ending 3 days later. Still no payment. I've sent 2 courtesy messages that I'd be going to the post office over that 3-day span. No replies. No thanks. Stay away from my auctions. And it goes on and on and on. And again, I don't want to waste printer ink, but I think you get the gist of what that's all about. So, unfortunately, we have to deal with people like this on eBay who are not honest, who probably just gets their rocks off sitting there, pulling their pud, messing with people's lives and their livelihoods. I mean, financially, I want to say I'm doing okay. I'm not making $1 million doing this. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, with my business tax return, I had to pay back money, because unfortunately some of the deductions I have I couldn't use. So I ended up paying back $308 or something like that. I forgot what it was. Plus what I had to pay for H&R Block, because I've never filed a 1099-K in my life. But I'm small potatoes selling cards, that are maybe like $1, $2. Sometimes I'll have some premium cards up there. But, imagine my fellow eBayers who are sellers who depend on this for their livelihoods. For me, I buy and sell to, make my collection much more tangible. But when you have people like this that are, out there doing this sort of thing, it could really ruin people's livelihoods, especially if they're dependent and their sole source of income is doing this. It really, really sucks. It's awful. And eBay just does not care. Look what happened to me recently. I got, 5 negative feedbacks? 4 was from one individual, and another one was claiming that I never mailed out their card, I never sent it, and blah, 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 and all this garbage. It's just stupid. Because people want free cards, they want to get over on everybody, and if you don't call this stuff out, it's gonna run rampant. They're gonna run roughshod all over us as eBay sellers. So just be careful what you do. If you see stuff like this, call it out immediately. Take to social media, let everybody know who it is, make these people infamous, and that this way there'll be no more people that would suffer this type of con job. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I was going to do a review of something. I'm actually looking at the mailman right now, just pulled up right there in front of my apartment. There was a review I was going to do today, but because this is such a important topic to talk about, I just don't want to see anybody lose their hard-earned money. And I know that there are a lot of people that truly depend on eBay sales to supplement their income or to make extra money, or maybe that's what you do solely. It's like your only single source of income. So be careful who you're dealing with. Read through the feedbacks, in particular the positives, because you'll find that if you don't leave negative feedbacks in a certain amount of time on eBay won't allow you to leave any kind of negative. They force a positive feedback. So they really need to do something about this. Like, this is just absurd and ridiculous. But anyway, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Just be careful with whom you're dealing with on eBay. Again, it is part of the human condition for people to try to get over, to scam one another. There are people out there that are narcissists that don't care who they hurt. They don't care about the damage that they're causing in people's lives. Believe me, I know this. I've been a victim of this for many, many years, where I've had people come after me and attack me. And, I've been the victim of multiple physical assaults, as a matter of fact. And it's scary out there. It really is, especially today when I'm seeing on the news. I mean, people are capable of just about any kind of evil that you can conceive of these days. It's quite frightening, if you ask me. So with all of that being said, ladies and gentlemen, take care. God bless. Stay safe. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my eBay store. The link is in the description box below. And this guy, again, is up for auction. I just got another bid, as a matter of fact, for this guy. So hopefully it'll find a good home someplace. I start my auctions at low prices, and then, they are what they are. But take care. God bless. I'll see you all very soon. I want to go downstairs and get my box before he takes off. You guys are going to like this one, especially if you're Star Trek fans. See you around, people.